Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. My name's Heather Salter-Purves, queer fantasy author. This is my Hearthside, where I talk about my reading, writing and life journeys. And today I thought I would introduce you to a concept I have in my writing world called Stella. So Stella is my shiny new ideas. This is my current Stella. It's a shiny, sparkling new notebook that is just filled with brain dumps of a variety of different story ideas I now want to tell, as well as the file. So this is the file, and that has some outlines I want to write. So I'm kind of amalgamating a few different authortubers ideas I've seen recently. So Mars from Sunbury Honey and Guy from SD Hin's ideas of the retellings and story ideas they want, and going through and doing an outline-a-thon, which is also Kate Cavanaugh's idea, where she gets a whole bunch of her stories that are ready to be outlined or have been outlined, so she can just pick them up and continue on. So I thought I'd bring you along on this video. There are 3 parts. There are 3 sections, so I would love for you to grab a cup of tea as I talk to you a bit about them. I am aware that how I would approach these stories would be very different to other people's approaches to the stories. So I would love to know your thoughts, feelings and opinions. But without further ado, let's dive on in. So this part is the retellings. So as the idea of there's no such thing as a original thought, I have some fairy tales, mythology, legends, reimaginings I want to do. That is how Her Daffodil Queen came into being. It is Welsh mythology and Hayes and Persephone. But I have a range of other ideas I want to dive on into. Whether or not they continue to be part of the Twisted Garden saga, or they develop into other stories down the line in other series, is yet to be fully fleshed out. But the first one I want to do is a Little Red Riding Hood reimagining, and I don't know if it's going to be a werewolf or anything else, if it's going to be a paranormal or a fantasy, but I really want to dive into a Little Red Riding Hood reimagining. And then we have Beauty and the Beast. I have loved and adored Beauty and the Beast. That was my Disney movie, so it's the year it came out I was born. So I've had this affinity and attachment to Beauty and the Beast my entire life, which is also probably part of curses, dark, macabre, twisty things. I then also would love to look at a Match Girl retelling. So this is a fairy tale by either Brothers Grimm or Hans Christian Andersen. I'm not quite sure, but it's about a little girl who is selling matches or looking for matches in a winter time setting in her village, and she is impoverished, and at the end of a couple of days no one has seen her and she is found passed away under a snowdrift. So I would love to kind of take that story and re-twist and put my own spin on it. I want to write a Bluebeard reimagining and retelling about, I loved The Bloody Chamber by Angela Carter, so I know that's a reimagining. Alice in Wonderland, that story is so rich and ripe and beautiful. I love the descent of madness into the Red Queen and just the ethereal ooky bookiness of it. Rapunzel, but I'd also like to get back to sort of the Brothers Grimm dark twistedness of Rapunzel. So they are the reimaginings or retellings I am wanting and itching to get to at some point. I then have plot bunny ideas. So these are stories that have already been outlined and I need to get into writing them, or tales of stories I generally just want to get to. So the first one is Project Gargoyle. You have seen this on the channel. It is my sapphic, gothic, romantic horror, dark academia story that is going to be started in September. So look out for drafting vlogs for that. I also have the idea to expand on Echoes in the Dragon's Heart, which is a novelette that I have put into this anthology, Tales from the Dragon Horde. But I want to expand on it, and this is also a retelling or reimagining of Brave and the Minotaur and Theseus. Instead of a Minotaur, it is a dragon, about telling fates and stuff. I then also have Hollowborn, which is my sapphic enemies to lovers with elves, a highborn elf and a blood elf. I'm really interested in doing that. I do need to work a bit more on the outline for that one. So if you'd like me to actually do an outline-a-thon series where I go through and try and outline these to the best of my ability using a variety of different methods, let me know down in the comments. I then also have one that is going to be coming up with Bushland Castle Productions, which is the micro publisher who is publishing Shadows Beyond the Gates, which is the Sapphic Demon Crisis of Faith novella that's coming out in July next year. Is I want to do a Banshee origin story for their next call out for their series after I've done Shadows, but I'll have to pitch that next year to them. And then moving on, I've locations and creatures I really want to write. So whether they fit in nicely to other stories already mentioned, or I make little short stories, novellas, novelettes, novels, I'm not sure. So the first one is I want to really badly write a creepy haunted house. I am leaning into my folk horror, gothic, dark fantasy, really getting back into my roots of those sort of things. So I really would love to write poltergeist haunted house story. If you have any recommendations for any of those type of books, let me know down in the comments. And similarly, I want to write a maze or labyrinth book, not like a reimagining of Labyrinth, like the David Bowie one, but like the idea of like that being the setting and writing a story around it. I have a concept, I have a premise, I don't have a plot. Similarly, I want really badly to write a story about hellhounds, big fire demon puppies. They just sound really cute or weird. Similarly, I also want to write about a phoenix. Whether or not this, which is funny because I don't do birds, they scare me. But yeah, I want to write about a firebird, a reincarnation firebird. Moving on to my watery creatures, I would love to write a kelpie book. I would love to write a kraken book story. And then moving on to sort of earth creatures, I really would love to write a satyr fawn book. I know they're kind of interchangeable to an extent. Trolls or dwarves, I would really like to write dryads and nymphs. I do have a story idea for a nymph and a carpenter. So I would be interested in writing that as like a little novella. Maybe setting that in a paranormal town so we get to play with other creatures that are on my list. And I've already done vampires. I would love to do a werewolf book or lycanthropy book. I have done a origin emergent story of a werewolf in Scars from That Night. So I'd love to do another one or a story more in that world. A ghost, but I also do have a haunted house. So similarly, they are everything that is in the Stella. I then also have a few other stories in the file. They are more outlined. So we have Project Gargoyle. We're done. I need to work on outlining Project Hollowborn. If you would like to actually watch me put together my plotting and world building for that, let me know down in the comments. We also have Splinters of Ash, which is book 1 in a duology where we are following demons, witches, horsemen of the apocalypse, good and evil balance. And then I would be writing a duology. So if you'd also like to see how I've plotted out not only Splinters, but I'm working on book 2 in that series, and then the overall arc to make sure I hit the story beats across the 2 books, let me know down in the comments. I also need to outline book 2 in the Bound in Crimson Ties book. So that's Betrayed by Blood's second book. So we will learn more about Victoria Sterling as she moves into the vampire clan's compound. And I would need to outline that. So let me know if you have any reimaginings that you would love to write. If you have any plot bunnies that have been bouncing around, how you organize your plot bunnies. If you would like me to do a sort of outline-a-thon where I do my world building and plotting out to an extent for any of these ideas, let me know down in the comments, and I would love to hear your ideas. Also, if you would like me to do book recommendations of any of these ideas of retellings I've done or stories that have the vibe that I want, let me know down in the comments. I would love to add that to my schedule. But until next time, let's use our voices to promote positive change in the world. Thank you and bye-bye for now.